Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest football news. 3 big transfer deals cooking up. We are approaching that time this summer, aren't we? And Sunday mornings can be the time where these sort of stories come out. So we're going to be talking about Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea. Big deals this summer, what we're hearing about. But before we get into that, let's just say Newcastle play Manchester United today. Thoughts with Eddie Howe. He's missing this game. We don't know the full details of it. Hopefully he's going to be okay. But obviously Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job at Newcastle. But ultimately there is a human element as well. And I think, big season for Newcastle winning the Carabao Cup. He's done a good job there. And obviously, I think everybody involved in the community sends our wishes and best wishes because football is what we love. And Eddie Howe is part of that community. Talking about Newcastle first, let's start off with Fabrizio Romano's update around Isak and Liverpool. Basically, Liverpool want this deal, but the hard thing is going to be Newcastle. They're no mugs. They're going to dig their feet in. They're going to make it very difficult. We'll talk about where Arsenal are going for a striker as well. And also a very interesting link with Chelsea, which is detrimental to my club, Man United, in a player that we're looking at as well. But let's talk about Liverpool and Isak first. Big update on Salah. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Salah other than to say we've been talking about this for months, that he will stay. And that's basically been led by David Ornstein, if I'm being honest. He's the one that's pretty much been saying since Christmas that there's confidence that Salah will stay and ultimately has stayed. So not a shock to me that Trent's going, not a shock to me that Salah's staying. But Liverpool now winning the league, slots first summer transfer window, they want to go big. And the thing is, everyone knows Liverpool are going to go big, but where are they going to go? Competitive Premier League next season. Man City could bounce back. Arsenal are going to bring a striker in, which we'll talk about in a moment. Can Liverpool make the biggest signing of the summer in the Premier League and maybe in Europe by taking Alexander Isak from Newcastle to Liverpool? Well, so much of this doesn't actually depend on Liverpool having the funds. They've got the money to do it and apparently would be willing to do it. They see Isak at 25, 26, the perfect Premier League proven striker with top class qualities that can really improve Liverpool in an area they need to improve in. That Darwin Núñez experiment hasn't worked. There's talk of him going to Saudi. Jota's quite injury prone. They want somebody that can play that role, and they see Isak as the guy, and they see it as somebody they want to invest in. But Newcastle's the barrier. And if Newcastle get Champions League football, the feeling is it might have to get shelved for another year. If they don't get Champions League football, the feeling is that there's a deal there that can be done. So keep your eye on that. Looking at the run-in, Newcastle, I think, look like they'll get top 5. In fact, let me know in the comments who you think the top 5 is going to be. I've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, and I'm a bit worried about Forest, actually. I think they're vulnerable after that loss against Everton yesterday. I'm almost saying Chelsea, which would be such a shame for Forest to miss out. But Newcastle in the top 5, that may kill off an Isak deal. Where would Liverpool go then? They still need somebody. Where would they go then? Gyokeres, Sporting, Arsenal. That's the big story now for at least 10 days. That's the story. Bertra has gone in, Andrea Berta, as the sporting director. He wants to make a splash. They're expected to finalise a deal for Zubimendi, who went very close to Liverpool in the summer. They're looking at other people, but they all know the striker is the position, and the striker is the star signing, and the striker they're looking at is Gyokeres at the moment. He is expected to sign for Arsenal. This is strong rumours in the football industry that this deal is close to being announced, like could happen right at the start of the summer transfer window. Arsenal making very big moves on this. Sporting, Arsenal, and the player. They know Champions League football will be at Arsenal. They know the ambitions is to win the league. They may even have won the Champions League by then, but they'll probably have gone close if they don't. Next season is the season that Arsenal really want to win big prizes, and they see Gyokeres as that guy. So keep an eye on that one. I think it probably is going to happen. Mainly because, again, I'd love him at Man United, but we're just not that club, are we? But if Arsenal don't get Gyokeres, where do they go? Sesko, they're very close to getting Sesko. They have been very close to getting Sesko. There was a lot of talk in January, but I've got to be honest, when I look at Sesko and look at Gyokeres, there's only one choice. Sesko could end up being an amazing striker, but I just feel he's work in progress more than Gyokeres, and I think that's where Arsenal will go. Third and final update is around Chelsea and around a player that we know is going to be on the move this summer transfer window. He's falling out with their fans, apparently. He's done a great job for them since Christmas. He signed that new contract. The release clause is locked in. His name is Cunha. He plays for Wolves. He's on the move. There's a lot of talk about Manchester United. We've covered it on the United Stand. But actually, and it'd be very interesting to see if this is just rumour or true, Chelsea are being mentioned around this player. Now, is that because Chelsea bought Neto from Wolves and they've got good links there? I don't know. But Chelsea and Cunha are being linked a lot in the industry. And I think many of you will be saying they don't need another number 10. But they probably do need a player like Cunha, if we're being honest. They need someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. And he might be somebody that fits into that system. Now, I really would love him to come to Manchester United, but I think there's a lot of boxes for Man United to tick to get that deal done. Remember, Chelsea are playing in a Club World Cup. Remember, Chelsea are on the verge of Champions League football, and as I just predicted, they'll probably get it at the detriment of Forest the way they're playing at the moment. So if Chelsea have the Club World Cup guaranteed, which is money, and they've got the Champions League, the money's there, the status is there, the reputation is there, and the pull is there. And look, be very interesting. Arsenal haven't ruled themselves out of going for Cunha, but it's felt that he's a player too far in relation to what they actually need to do. Liverpool might look at it, and in a way, he'd be an interesting player, but does he definitively fit the way Liverpool want to play with their number 9? Chelsea, obviously, always on the lookout for these types of players. So keep an eye on that one. I think he'd be a brilliant signing for whoever he goes to. I think he'd be a brilliant signing for Arsenal. I just don't know where he'd fit in. If they bring Gyokeres in, where does Cunha play? I think at Liverpool, he could play the number 9 role, but is it the right type of player that Liverpool would want if they don't get Isak? Whereas at Chelsea, the system they play, there's numerous positions he could play there. So I would keep an eye on that one. I don't see him going to Man City. There's always Europe as well, but Chelsea at the moment is a sort of a low burner around Cunha. Let me know what your thoughts are on those three. Obviously, plenty more to come on That's Football. I think we're in for a massive transfer window. I really do. I think there's going to be some deals happening very early in June as clubs look to leverage the Club World Cup. I think if you're Man City and you're Chelsea, you can say to people, you can sign for us and go straight to a Club World Cup. You know, that might be a reason for me to say, no, I'll have the summer off, thanks, and I'll sign for Man United. But, you know, they have got that. They have got that pull. And FIFA are desperate for that tournament to be something that it clearly isn't. I mean, you're not going to have Liverpool. You're not going to have Barcelona. You're not going to have Arsenal. So what's the pedigree of this tournament when 3 of the best teams in the world aren't even in it? And I would say this as well. Are we going to be conspiracy theorists enough to say, keep an eye out this week on the Champions League? Because the FIFA World Cup doesn't want Arsenal or Barcelona winning that Champions League, surely. They want the Champions League winner to be in that Club World Cup. Should we be keeping an eye, or is that just too far? I've seen it around on social media. I'm not saying that referees are going to start doing things, but Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, Inter, I think they're all in the Club World Cup. Villa and Arsenal and Barcelona are on. Also, let me know about transfers around your clubs. It's a big summer to come. What do you think you need? Get your comments in, smash a like on the video and subscribe. That's football. Brilliant community. Get involved and I'll speak to you on the next one.